Yeah, I was assigned as the assistant venue commander. And primarily, my role was to supervise the ID teams for Centennial Olympic Park. And their responsibilities were to just work pretty much in an undercover capacity, making my last pass through the park. And I was summoned by a security guard by the name of Richard Jewell. He was having some problems with some young teenagers or probably college-age people, would be more in line, throwing beer cans into the tower where he was assigned. So we were standing in front of the tower discussing the situation when he noticed a green Army backpack under a bench in front of the tower. And of course, nobody claimed it. So I called it in as a suspicious package, not only to our command post, but to the bomb diagnostic team that was assigned to the park. And I asked them, is there anything to it? And they said, well, we don't know. We're just going to be on the safe side and bring the team in. So we were discussing how we would bring the team in and where they would enter the park. And we were trying to evacuate the immediate area and set up a perimeter so that the render safe team could work properly. We were in the process of doing that when the bomb exploded. Of course, it was a very, very loud, powerful explosion. And just as you said, it was very, very chaotic. People were laying on the ground and screaming and yelling. Many of them were in severe pain and severely injured, I might add. Of course, we had one lady that ended up dying from the explosion. But we just tried to deal with what we had in front of us. We tried to deal with those that were injured and provide aid and as much medical treatment as we could on site. But first responders arrived very quickly. I had a lot from the Atlanta Police Department and from the EMS service up there. So they had a very quick response to help us in that endeavor. And then we just tried to set up a perimeter for a crime scene.
After the bombing at the park, Governor Miller reached out to the Sheriff's Association and wanted to get a contingency of deputy sheriffs to control security in Centennial Park. And he had requested that Sheriff John Kerry Biddick and I be in charge of the security detail, which we readily agreed to do. And it was a very unusual event, going into a park like this that had been closed with all the security there after something bad had happened.
Now, 20 years later, we take a closer look at the blast that rocked the world and shattered our sense of security, coming up this week on Macon.com. I'm Liz Fabian for The Telegraph.